Arabella Dyson, you are charged on an indictment containing one count of offences against Section 1 of the Theft Act 1968. The particulars being that on the 25th of June 1982 in Fulchester, you did steal 3 items, namely 1 pair of ladies' gloves, a silk square, and an electric razor and case, to a total value of £120, the property of Messrs. Scotson, Green and Pretty of High Street, Fulchester. How say you, Arabella Dyson? Are you guilty or not guilty?
I am not guilty.
Sit down, Lady Dyson, please.
The case you're about to see is fictional. The procedure, however, is legally accurate. The characters are played by actors, but the jury are selected from members of the public.
Don't be nervous, Peter.
I'm not in the least nervous, thank you.
No, well, don't be. And you've seen as many as I have.
In the Crown Court?
Oh, yes. May it please Your Honour, in this case I appear on behalf of the prosecution and my learned friend Sir Harvey Venables appears for the defendant.
Yes, Miss Forsyth.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the accused, Lady Annabella Dyson, stands charged with what used to be called shoplifting, but is now, as you will have heard, described under the general heading of theft. Now, the prosecution's case is simple and straightforward, and the Crown contend, members of the jury, that once you have heard the evidence, you will have no doubt as to the accused's guilt. However, if you do have doubts, then you will, of course, acquit her. Now, let me first briefly give you an outline as to the background of the case. I'm sure that most of you will be familiar with the large department store in the centre of Fulchester, owned by Messrs. Scotson, Green and Pretty. And it was in that store, on June the 25th, 1982, that the alleged offences in this case occurred.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Is this where we wait for court number 1?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
And it is with these 3 items, members of the jury, the leather gloves, the silk square, and the electric razor, identified, as you have heard, as goods that were on sale in Scotson, Green and Pretty's store, that we are concerned. I now call the prosecution's first witness, please, Mrs. Beatrice Padley.
Mrs. Beatrice Padley.
What is your religion?
C of E.
Take the testament in your right hand and read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Are you Beatrice Mary Padley, and do you live at number 14 Hillside Lane, Fulchester? Yes, that's correct. And what is your occupation, Mrs. Padley? Security officer. Which is known as a store detective. Sometimes I do all security work, night patrols, cash in transit protection, every aspect. And you work for Scotson, Green and Pretty in their High Street? No, I work for the Bonds Rogers Security Company. That's the agency that sends us out on different assignments. We never work anywhere for more than 2 days at a time, so that neither the customers nor the staff get to know our faces. Yes, I see. Thank you. Now, Mrs. Padley, on June the 25th, 1982, were you assigned to Scotson, Green and Pretty in the High Street? Yes, I was. Could you tell us, please, in your own words, of an incident or a series of incidents that occurred there on the morning of that day? Well, Lady Dyson came into the store at around 9:30 a.m. She made her way down the escalator to the garden furnishing department. She chose 2 garden patio chairs and asked for them to be charged to her account and delivered. Then she took the escalator up to the ground floor again, went to the rear of the store to the wines and spirits department. She ordered 2 cases of red wine there and asked for them to be charged and delivered also. Then she went to the haberdashery department, which is near the front of the store, to look at some gloves. She tried several different pairs on, and she finally put a fawn pair into her handbag.
Well, it was a shoulder bag, a leather bag on a strap over her shoulder.
Did she make any attempt either to pay for the gloves or to take them to an assistant and ask that they be charged to her account?
No, she looked around to see if anyone was watching her and she slipped them into her bag.
Nonsense.
Remain silent, please.
May the witness be shown Exhibit 1, please. Are those the gloves?
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Go on, please, Mrs. Padley.
Well, she then went up on the escalator to the first floor to the curtain department. She chose some material and asked for that to be charged and delivered as well. Now, at the top of the escalator on the first floor, there was a special promotion display of silk squares and headscarves, which she'd passed on her way up. Well, she went back to look at that. She looked round from left to right several times, and then she hurriedly put one of the silk squares into her bag.
Exhibit 2, please.
Yes, that's the one. She then went up to the third floor of the store where there's a coffee bar, and there she met a friend. Well, I had a cup of coffee myself, sitting where I could keep her under observation, and then I followed her down on the escalators to the ground floor of the store, where I made my way to the main entrance.
Was she ever out of your sight, Mrs. Padley?
No, she wasn't.
And did she ever either present the goods for payment or take them to an assistant and ask that they be charged?
No, she did not.
Now, on the ground floor, you say, you made your way towards the store's main entrance. Why was that?
Well, I thought she was going to walk straight out.
But she didn't?
No, she went to the back of the escalator towards the cosmetic and perfumery department.
Now, to reach that, did she have to pass by the glove counter again?
Yes, she did.
And did she make any attempt then either to pay for the gloves or have them charged?
No, she went straight through to the cosmetic and perfumery department.
And what happened there?
Well, to be truthful, I can't say that I saw. A lot of the counters have big display units on them, and it isn't always possible to see what someone's doing.
Did Lady Dyson spend long in that department?
No, just a few minutes. And then she made a sudden dart out of the side exit doors into Hannington Street.
And what did you do?
Well, I followed her.
Well, tell us what happened then, please.
Well, outside, she was only about 5 or 6 feet away. She was standing talking to a policeman.
Now, Mrs. Padley, did you gain the impression that she'd been stopped by the policeman?
No, she was just talking to him ordinarily.
Yes, go on, please.
Well, I went up to her and I said, excuse me, madam, I believe you have some goods in your possession which belong to the department store that you have just left and for which you have not paid. Will you accompany me back to the manager's office, please?
Ridiculous.
What was her reply?
She said, you stupid woman, do you know who I am?
Oh, no. That is completely and utterly untrue.
Silence, please.
Now, Lady Dyson, you really must restrain your feelings. I cannot allow you to go on interrupting like this.
I'm sorry, Your Honour. I do
Right.
apologise.
What was the upshot of the conversation between you and Lady Dyson, Mrs. Padley?
Well, she eventually agreed to do as I requested and accompany me back to the manager's office, and she did so.
And are you able, if necessary, to answer any questions about what happened there?
Yes, I am.
Good. Thank you, Mrs. Padley.
Mrs. Padley, do you know the defendant, Lady Dyson?
No.
I don't mean personally. I mean, do you know her by sight?
Well, I do now, yes.
I don't mean now. I mean that day, the morning she came into the store. Did you know her by sight then?
Yes, I suppose so, yes.
Well, why did you hesitate about her, Mrs. Padley? She's a well-known local personage, is she not?
Yes.
And is that what made you decide to follow her around the store?
No, I didn't follow her round the store.
Mrs. Padley, how were you observing her then? Watching her on television?
Quiet, please.
Well, there is closed-circuit television at Scott's and Green's, yes, but I wasn't observing her by that method, no.
Oh. What method were you observing her by?
My own eyesight.
As I said, following her around.
No, I didn't follow her around.
How would you describe it, then?
I kept her under observation.
Oh, my goodness.
You see, you're saying that you mean that I was...
Oh, no, Mrs. Padley, please. It's difficult enough to find out what you mean. Now, just let me ask you again, one by one, about Lady Dyson's movements and see if you still insist.
Mark, my dear fellow, I was beginning to get worried about you.
I'm not late, am I?
No. I'm just glad of a bit of company. Dear, I feel so impotent, don't you?
Yes.
I think he's one of theirs.
Mrs. Padley, I'm afraid we're getting nowhere, so we'll pass on, shall we? Do you consider yourself to be an observant person?
Yes, reasonably so.
Oh, come. I'm sure you wouldn't be employed as you are if your standard was only reasonable, don't you agree?
If you say so.
Well, let us see. When Lady Dyson chose those fawn gloves, before putting them in her handbag, you say she looked round to see if anyone was watching. Could it have been to see if there was an assistant anywhere she could speak to about them?
Not in my opinion, no.
Well, was there an assistant anywhere?
Can't recall.
I put it to you, there emphatically was not. And when on the first floor, by the display of silk squares and headscarves, when she was, you said, looking from left to right, could she also then have been looking for an assistant?
She didn't give me that impression, no.
First we had your opinion, now we have your impression. Would you agree she could have been looking for an assistant on both occasions?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Well, what would you say?
Well, from my experience, it's possible to tell if someone is looking for an assistant or if they're looking around to see if someone is watching them.
What? Usually?
Always.
Magnificent. Well, being as acutely observant as you are, Mrs. Padley, tell us then how Lady Dyson was looking when she left the coffee bar and went down the escalator to the ground floor. How did she look?
Normal. I don't quite see what you mean.
I put it to you, she was deeply distressed and in tears.
I didn't see any signs of it.
No, your eyes were only fixed on Lady Dyson to see what you thought she might be going to steal next. Thank you, Mrs. Padley.
Miss Forsyth?
No re-examination, thank you, Your Honour.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Padley. You may leave the witness box.
I call Mr. Peter Roberts, please. I'm going to make it clear, right?
Mr. Peter Roberts.
Do you know, Mark, I find it quite extraordinary.
Sorry?
You can always tell them by the size of their feet.
What?
The feet, the size of them. You can always tell.
Your occupation, Mr. Roberts?
I'm an assistant manager at Scotson Green and Pretty's.
Now, Mr. Roberts, I would like the court to be quite clear about this from the very beginning. The previous witness, Mrs. Padley, the store detective, are you related to her?
Yes. She's my mother.
Mr. Roberts, will you tell us, please, in your own words, of what happened on the morning of the 25th of June, 1982, in the store concerning the defendant?
About 11 o'clock in the morning, or just before, we received a T1 call in the top floor offices from the cosmetic...
I'm sorry, you received a what call, did you say?
A T1. It's the store code to advise the thief has left the store, been apprehended outside, and is being brought back to administration.
Yes, thank you. Go on, please.
It's standard procedure. I went to one of the investigation rooms, and waited there. After perhaps 2 or 3 minutes, Mrs. Padley, the security officer, arrived with Lady Dyson and a police constable.
Yes, go on, please.
Mrs. Padley then said, "I have reason to believe, sir, this lady has items in her handbag which are the store's property, which she hasn't paid for, and which she has stolen." I then asked Lady Dyson to restrain her language and say whether, in fact, this was true.
Restrain her language?
Yes, she was swearing all the time at both me and Mrs. Padley.
And what was her answer to the accusation that she'd stolen property?
She denied it, very violently. So I'd asked her if she'd please open a handbag and put the contents on the table.
And when she did, what did you see?
Apart from her personal things, she had in her handbag a pair of fawn leather gloves, a green silk square, and a Braun Modischfrau ladies' electric razor in a leather case.
May the witness be shown exhibits 1, 2, and 3, please. Those are they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Mm.
Did she make any comment?
She referred to them as... I'm sorry, this is rather difficult.
What?
Oh, why is it difficult, Mr. Roberts?
Some of her expressions I'd rather not use.
Well, I'm sure that none of them are ones that haven't been heard in this court before.
Well, I'm sure there's no need for you to be explicit, Mr. Roberts. Just tell us the general content of what she said.
She made some criticism of the goods themselves. She said they were rubbish. Then she opened her purse, which had been in her handbag, and said, "There's enough there to pay for the things 10 times over. Help yourself to what they cost."
And what was your reply?
I said I couldn't accept the money. In all cases of theft, it was store policy to prosecute. I then repeated that to the police constable and asked for the charges to be made.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, do you have strong feelings of animosity towards Lady Dyson?
No.
You're on oath, Mr. Roberts.
Well, that's far
I'm
too
going to
strongly
read you a
expressed.
letter, an extract. It's dated the 1st of June, 1982, just over 3 weeks before the incident which led to this case occurred. It's a copy of a letter written by Lady Dyson to the managing director of the company by whom you're employed. Furthermore, I consider the young man in question, whose name I understand is Roberts, to be the rudest and most obnoxious shop assistant it has ever been my misfortune to encounter, and sincerely trust he is not typical of the sort of person you usually employ. Do you recall what you said to him?
No, I don't.
You're a stuck-up, self-centered social parasite. That is what you called her, is it not? In front of 2 other shop assistants?
One of them was 6 months pregnant. She was quite right not to carry Lady Dyson's parcel down to another department.
Mr. Roberts, I didn't ask for your excuses. I asked, were those the words you used in speaking to Lady Dyson?
Possibly. I don't really remember. I was very angry at the
Mr.
time.
Roberts,
And she'd reduced...
please stop giving answers to questions I haven't asked. You admit you used the words?
Look, all I'm trying to say
Say
is...
only the answers to my questions, please. Are you in the habit of talking to the store's customers in that manner?
No, but she'd no right to talk to the
Mr.
staff.
Roberts, what was the outcome of Lady Dyson's justified letter of complaint to your managing director? Well, answer me, please.
I was reprimanded.
Was that why you refused to allow her any opportunity in your interrogation room to explain how these things came to be in her handbag?
There are no store rules saying we have to listen to explanations.
How many other assistant managers are there in the store as well as you?
2 others besides me.
Mr. Roberts, how was it that your mother, Mrs. Padley, brought Lady Dyson to you and not to one of the others?
It was just coincidence.
Well, was it?
Your Honour, no suggestion of such a kind was put to the previous witness.
Sir Harvey.
I will not pursue it, Your Honour. Mr. Roberts, let me ask you this instead. Are you accustomed to dealing with accusations of stealing against customers?
It's part of your training.
Not in a training situation, in actuality. How many times have you been responsible for dealing with a shoplifting incident?
Once.
Once. In that instance, were you yourself the person who instigated proceedings for prosecution?
After discussion with the general manager,
Ah. What was the result of that case?
charge was dismissed.
Your Honour, I must protest. A verdict in another case is irrelevant.
Yes, Sir Harvey. I shall tell the jury to ignore that.
Your Honour. Mr. Roberts, has Lady Dyson a personal credit account at the store? She can have anything she wants charged to.
Yes?
Is there any limit to the sum she can run up on her account?
No?
She can have as much credit she wants. And is that privilege extended to every customer?
No?
Only to those considered the most reliable and trustworthy.
I don't know how they're selected.
No, I'm sure. Mr. Roberts, what would happen to you, do you think, as far as Scotts and Green and Pretty are concerned, after this case you've initiated against one of their most valued customers? If she's acquitted, what will happen to you?
I really don't know.
Don't you? Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
I don't wish to re-examine, thank you, Your Honour.
All right, then. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Oh, dear God. I hope I'm next. Do these things always take so long?
I don't know.
No. Who is it?
Who's what?
The judge. Someone told me it was old Billy Unwin. He's a bit of a live wire, isn't he?
I've no idea, Charles.
She came out of the side exit of the store into Harrington Street, you say, just a few yards away from you. And as soon as she saw you, she came up to you.
Yes, she did.
And what did she say?
Your Honour, may I refer to my notebook, please, to the notes I made in it soon afterwards?
Well, all right, Constable, if you must.
She said, "Oh, dear officer, you're not going to pinch me, are you?"
And what did you reply?
Well, I said, "Well, madam, that depends what you've done."
Yes. And then what did she say?
She said, "Oh, I've done all sorts of wicked things."
And what did you say to that?
confession's supposed to be good for the soul. How about telling me some of them?
Do you frequently have conversations with ladies like this in the street, Constable?
No, Your Honour.
Well, then, perhaps that is why you think they're worth preserving, is it? All right, Miss Forsyth.
Constable, did...
and preferably with matters that are somewhat more germane.
Your Honour. Constable, was this conversation soon interrupted?
Yes, it was, Your Honour, almost immediately. A store detective, who I now know to be Mrs. Padley, came out and asked the accused to accompany her back inside the store.
And what was the accused's response to that?
She said something like, "You must be stupid, don't you know who I am?" Then she turned to me and said, "This woman's a lunatic, I'm innocent."
And what did you say?
I advised her to go back into the store as requested. Then she said, "I know the chief constable, you know." I again advised her that I thought it would be better if she did as the store detective asked. She said, "Then you'd better come too." I agreed, and the three of us went to an office on the top floor of the store.
And what transpired there?
We went into a small side room, and one of the assistant managers asked her to empty the contents of her handbag onto a table, which she did after some argument. The assistant manager then identified certain articles from it as the store's property and said he wanted to charge her with the theft of them.
Constable, did she give any explanation as to how these items came to be in her handbag?
No, she was, well, using a certain amount of strong language. But when he said he wanted her charged, she stopped and went completely silent. She never said another single word of any kind until we arrived at the police station, where, when charged, she said she wasn't going to speak until we fetched her solicitor, which she didn't.
Yes. Thank you, Constable.
Now, Constable, when Lady Dyson came out and engaged you in conversation, would you say she was trying to escape from a situation?
Not particularly, no.
Good, thank you. Now, when the store detective came out and accused her of theft, her immediate reaction was that she was innocent.
Well, no, not exactly. No, she said the store detective was stupid.
Constable, in your own words, you said she said, "I am innocent."
Oh, yes. Well, afterwards, then she said that.
And in the interrogation room or investigation room or whatever they call it, she again denied having stolen these things. What explanation did she give of how they came to be in her handbag?
Well, none. She didn't give any.
How was that?
I don't know, sir.
Constable, I put it to you, she gave no explanation because she was given no opportunity to.
Well, as I said, as soon as the matter of charges being made was mentioned, she went completely silent.
Constable, I'm sure you're not being deliberately obtuse. Do you or do you not remember the assistant manager saying, "Don't give me any excuses," or something very like it?
No, I don't remember it, sir.
Constable, I hope your superiors will note how you failed to hear words of vital importance.
Do you wish to re-examine Miss Forsyth?
No, thank you, Your Honour.
You may stand down, Constable. So that is your case, Miss Forsyth?
It is, Your Honour.
All right, Sir Harvey.
I call the defendant, Lady Arabella Dyson, please.
Well, I don't know. Is Hilary coming?
I wouldn't have thought so, Charles. I'll see if I can find myself a cup of tea somewhere.
And nothing but the truth.
Lady Dyson, is there something you wish to say right at the outset to the court and to the members of the jury?
Yes. I want to say immediately. I want to say straight away that I have a previous conviction for shoplifting.
The case of the Queen against Dyson will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. The case you're about to see is fictional. The procedure, however, is legally accurate. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. Lady Arabella Dyson is accused of theft in that she stole goods from Scotson, Green and Pretty of High Street, Fulchester. Lady Dyson denies the charge.
You're making the frank admission immediately, Lady Dyson, that you have one previous conviction for another offence of this kind.
Yes.
When was it?
Last year. Just about a year ago.
Please, would you tell us a little about it, where it was and so on?
It was in the local magistrate's court. I'm a magistrate myself. I was until that happened.
You were accused of shoplifting. What did you plead to the charge?
I pleaded guilty.
Were you?
No. No, I wasn't.
Then why did you plead guilty?
I was advised to by a colleague of mine on the bench. He knew that if I was acquitted, people would say it was because of influence. I wasn't at all well. I was ill. But please, I don't want to suggest that he talked me into it. It was my own decision.
Do you regret now that decision, that you pleaded guilty?
Yes, I do. Very much indeed, for many reasons.
What are they?
Firstly, because I wasn't guilty. It was ridiculous. It was a cheap notebook in a little shop. I wasn't thinking, and I put it into my shopping bag. And it was going to cause such acute embarrassment to my colleagues, my fellow magistrates. And I was taking lots of pills and things for my nerves at the time. So when my colleague suggested that I should get it over with as little fuss as possible, well, wrongly I see now, that was what I did.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Would you please go on?
I seem to have lost the thread.
You were saying why you regretted pleading guilty when you weren't.
Oh, yes, yes. And, well, of course, I had no idea. Well, how could I have possibly have done that I would ever again find myself in another nightmare situation like this?
Charged with another offence of the same kind?
Absolutely. It was beyond belief. If I had ever even faintly thought it possible, I would never have allowed it to have happened for one moment. It was a conviction, well, almost by default, you might say.
So now, this was why you wanted this case to be heard by a jury?
However much it costs, yes. I simply must clear my name. I can't stand it.
Quite. Lady Dyson, I want now to go through the evidence which has been given against you. I know this is going to be very painful, but I know, too, that you want to be very frank about it.
My behaviour was appalling. I do want to say how sorry I am about it.
Yes. But let me ask you first, Lady Dyson. The account by Mrs. Padley, the store detective, of your movements around the different departments in the store that morning, was it correct?
Well, as far as I know, I couldn't have given anything like so exact a description of where I went.
No, I'm sure. Now, the suggestions, or rather the three direct accusations against you are these. That first, in the haberdashery department on the ground floor, you put a pair of fawn gloves in your handbag without paying for them or having them charged to your account. Is that correct? Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
And the second is that from the top of the escalator on the first floor, you took a silk square from a display, again without paying for it or having it charged, and put that in your handbag also.
Yes, I did that too.
And then you went up to the coffee bar on the third floor and had a cup of coffee there with a friend. And then after that, you went down to the ground floor to the cosmetics department, and there took and put into your handbag a lady's electric razor. Did you do that?
Well, I suppose I must have done. I didn't know I had, but it was in my handbag when I emptied out the contents in the upstairs office. So yes, I must have taken that too.
Though you don't remember taking it?
I have no recollection of even being in the cosmetics department.
You do clearly remember putting the gloves and silk square in your handbag?
Yes.
I'll ask you this bluntly, Lady Dyson. Were you responsible for your actions when you took them and put them in your bag?
Yes, I was. Absolutely.
Why did you do it?
Anyone who's ever shopped at Scott's and Green and Petty will agree with me. It's not the easiest place in the world to find a shop assistant when you want one. I put the gloves in my bag because I was in a hurry. I had arranged to meet a friend in the third floor coffee bar. After I'd had coffee, I was going to go back down to haberdashery and ask to have them charged for me.
And the silk square which you took from the display on the first floor, what happened there?
It was absurd. It was on a display, completely on its own, in the open. The idea of anyone trying to steal anything from it is ludicrous. The silk square just happened to catch my eye as I was on my way to the curtaining department. So after I'd ordered what I wanted there, I went back to have another look at it. And I did the same thing. I put it in my bag to be charged on my way down again from coffee. I do that regularly at Scotson's. I mean, gracious, I must have done it hundreds of times.
Carried things around with you when there wasn't an assistant handy, and then gone back with them.
Well, hundreds of times is an exaggeration, but dozens of times, certainly, yes.
How much do you spend per year at the store?
Well, I don't know exactly. Always several £1,000s.
Thousands of pounds a year?
Well, it's the only place there is. I mean, obviously one does most of one's shopping in London, but it's useful for ordinary, everyday things.
How do you react to the suggestion that you might steal from them?
It's absolutely frightful. I can't find words. That's why I became so angry and lost my head. Yes, I'm afraid I did swear. I did use some very bad language. No one should ever talk like that, but not even being allowed to explain. It was terrible.
Yes, I'm sure it was. And now, Lady Dyson, we have to move on to something I know is going to be very painful. Now, you've told us you put the gloves and the head square in your handbag with the full intention of having them charged to your account later. Did something happen to prevent that?
Yes. I was distraught, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, will you tell us about it in your own way, please?
I'd arranged to meet a friend in the coffee bar at 10:15. His name was Mark Wharton. We originally met, I think it was through my husband, actually. We're good friends. We have a lot in common, the same interests and that sort of thing. Actually, we used to meet quite regularly, once a week or so, for a cup of coffee or a drink or a chat or something. Well, I know it sounds stupid, but his wife...
I know this is difficult for you, Lady Dyson.
Well, I mean, I do know her and so on. That morning, he told me his wife had said that she didn't want us to go on seeing each other.
That was what he told you in the coffee bar?
Yes.
What was your reaction?
I was absolutely shattered that his wife should have so totally a wrong impression. I was terribly upset and deeply hurt. He tried to persuade me that we could still go on seeing each other, perhaps now and then. But I said no. But it wasn't easy to say.
What did you do then?
I tried to laugh. I mean, it would have been funny if it hadn't been so awful.
No, I mean, what did you actually do?
My hands were trembling. I was terribly upset. I had some pills my doctor had given me for my nerves, so I took some of them.
Pills? You mean tranquilizers?
Hefrenol. They're a yellow capsule. They were new. I hadn't taken them before.
How many did you take that morning?
I was incredibly stupid. 3.
All at once?
Yes. I took one while Mark and I were talking, and then a few minutes later I took another one. And then after he left, I took a third one because they didn't seem to be having any effect.
What was the effect?
Well, suddenly, as far as I can remember, I seemed to just, well, depart.
Depart?
It was a feeling of being not really in this world. I knew what was happening, what was going on. I knew I suddenly began to cry, for instance. But instead of going to the powder room as one normally would, I just stood up and walked out. People were looking at me coming down the escalator because I was crying. But I couldn't accept it was me they were looking at.
And then you went down to the cosmetics department on the ground floor.
Well, that's what's so stupid about it. I didn't mean to go to the cosmetics department. Why should I? I always get makeup in London. I was going to the wine and spirits department at the back of the store. Then suddenly, I thought I saw Mark across near the front of the store. I knew if he saw me, he would come over and try and talk to me. I didn't want him to see me, so I immediately fled out of the nearest exit.
With the lady's electric razor.
I've already got 2 electric razors. Why ever should I want another one?
Have you any recollection of taking it?
None whatsoever.
And then you went out into Hannington Street. What happened there?
There was a young policeman, and we had that ridiculous conversation. And then the store detective, who had apparently followed me from the moment I came into Scotson's, came up and asked me to go back into the store with her.
Upstairs in the office. What happened there? Did you try to explain?
Yes, and to pay for the things. I had over £300 in my purse. It was absurd.
That the assistant manager wouldn't allow you a chance to explain.
Well, I had written that letter about him. If only he'd let me explain. But he just said, I don't want to hear excuses. I was upset. But now I suppose it's understandable. He must absolutely have hated me.
Lady Dyson, I'm sure the jury will notice. You're not really making any excuse for yourself, are you?
My behavior was inexcusable.
Or for taking the things you're accused of stealing.
I'm not making excuses, but I am giving reasons, saying exactly how it happened. And I still think the most stupid thing I did was rushing out when I thought I saw Mark, and I was sure if he saw me, he was going to come over and try and talk me into going on seeing him. If I hadn't done that, I'm sure when I'd calmed down, I'd have remembered the things in my bag and taken them to be charged, and then all this would never have happened. But I just couldn't face any more argument with Mark. My one thought was that I wanted it all finished completely. Charles agreed with me afterwards. I'd been right about that.
Sir Charles Dyson, that is, your husband, who's later giving evidence on your behalf.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Lady Dyson. Yes, I'm sorry.
Please, I would just like to say how sorry I am for speaking the way I did to the shop people. That lady and that young man.
Yes, you're apologizing for your bad language.
And bad manners. Very sincerely, yes.
But let there be no misunderstanding. In no way are you apologizing for stealing.
Absolutely not, no. How can I apologize for something that I didn't do?
Lady Dyson, a magistrate who allows a conviction of guilt to be recorded against her when she's in fact innocent. That's highly unusual, isn't it?
I've no idea. I don't know what's usual and what's unusual.
Well, have you ever known of such a thing happening elsewhere or before?
I don't know what happens elsewhere. How should I?
Now, your husband knew of your association with Mark Wharton, you say, did he?
I don't care for the word association in the way you use it.
Well, I wasn't questioning you on that, Lady Dyson. Don't be so touchy. And I would be grateful if you didn't interrupt me, please.
It was an absolutely open and above-board friendship.
Lady Dyson, I do hope that it's not going to continue to be difficult for us to communicate. Would you please refrain from speaking until I have asked you a question? Now, let me try again with what I was going to say. Yes, presumably, as you talked frankly with your husband about your friendship, since that is the word that you prefer with Mark Wharton, so too you were equally open with him about, your husband that is, about your previous conviction. Is that so?
Yes, of course.
He knew about it?
I told him.
And at the time, was he content that you should plead guilty even though you were innocent?
At the time, he didn't know that I was pleading guilty. He didn't know until after I'd done so.
Ah, so in fact, Lady Dyson, he didn't know about it at the time you were charged?
No, not until a few weeks later.
And what was the reason for the delay?
He was in Australia on business.
So, it was left to your friend, your colleague, to advise you?
Yes.
And one of the things that he took into consideration was the fact that you might be guilty?
Absolutely not, no. He knew that I wasn't.
Well, how did he know?
Because I told him. He knew me and he believed me, as anyone who knew me would.
Is what you're saying that anyone who knew you would know that even though you had pleaded guilty, you were in fact innocent?
Yes. Not a single soul I explained it to afterwards didn't believe that.
Well, the magistrates didn't believe it. You pleaded guilty. They accepted it.
They didn't know the circumstances.
But knowing that you were a magistrate and how damaging such a conviction could be, didn't they advise you to reconsider your plea?
There was no discussion. It was all over in the court in about 30 seconds at the most. They were acutely embarrassed.
Yes, I'm sure they were. What penalty did they impose?
I was fined £50, I think it was.
Well, we'll pass on now, shall we? Leave this matter of your previous conviction in abeyance. Now, you said, I think I've noted this correctly, that when you took the fawn gloves in the haberdashery department, you looked around for an assistant but couldn't find one, and so you put them in your handbag temporarily, intending to come back and have them charged to your account later.
Absolutely. That's precisely
Lady
what
Dyson, would you wait for my question, please? And you said it was because I was in a hurry, I'd arranged to meet a friend in the third-floor coffee bar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, if you were in such a hurry, why did you not leave the gloves where they were and come back for them later?
They were the only decent pair of gloves they had, and they were the exact shade I needed for a pair of shoes I had. If I'd left them, they could easily have gone.
Well, that is perhaps a convincing explanation.
It's true.
Except for the fact that you were not in so much of a hurry that you did not go into the soft furnishing department to choose some curtain material.
In soft furnishings, for once, there was an assistant inside, so I took advantage of it.
Well, how long did you spend choosing the curtains?
I've no idea. I wasn't timing myself. It was only a repeat order, actually. I wanted some more of a design that they had in stock. It couldn't have been more than 3 minutes at the most.
Well, 3 minutes would all the same have made you in even more of a hurry to get to the coffee bar afterwards.
Yes, I suppose in some ways, yes. But I know exactly what you're going to say.
Now look, Lady Dyson, counsel has already asked you twice not to interrupt her. You're not helping your case, you know.
I'm sorry, Your Honour. I'm extremely nervous.
All right, Miss Forsyth.
Your Honour. Yes, Lady Dyson, yes, you do indeed know what I am going to say. That having been still more delayed in the curtaining department, why did you not then go straight to the coffee bar, instead of returning to the display of silk squares by the escalator and being held up even more there?
Look, I'd seen the silk square when I stepped off the escalator on the first floor, and the moment I saw it, I knew I must have it.
The moment you saw it, you knew you had to have it?
Yes.
I would like you to think very carefully of the implications of what you are saying, Lady Dyson.
I don't know what you mean. I simply don't know what you're driving at.
As you stepped off the escalator, you saw the silk square. And then you saw an assistant available in the soft furnishing department. So why didn't you take the silk square to her and say you wanted it?
It was nothing to do with her. It wasn't her department.
Well, whose department was it in?
I have no idea. It was on a display entirely on its own.
Well, why didn't you take it to where there was an assistant?
I have already told you it wasn't her department.
Now, Lady Dyson, please, why didn't you take it to her and ask her whose department it was in?
Because I was in too much of a hurry. Yes. That would have been the sensible thing to do, but I just didn't think about it.
Now, you thought about it sufficiently to conceal it in your handbag.
I didn't conceal it.
You didn't conceal it.
You're trying to make it sound as if I wanted to steal it.
Precisely. Now, you said also, let me see, yes, that you had hundreds of times, which on reflection then you changed to dozens of times. I have dozens of times carried things around with me in the store when I couldn't find an assistant and only later paid for them or had them charged. Now, you wish that statement to stand for you, do you, that you have regularly carried unpaid-for goods around in the store?
Yes, I do, I have.
And where have you carried them, Lady Dyson?
Everywhere. Haberdashery, lingerie...
No. Where have you carried them? In your hand?
Yes.
In your handbag?
Sometimes, yes, I have sometimes.
Now, you kept those things in your handbag a long time, half an hour or more, whilst you had a conversation in the coffee bar with your friend.
Yes.
Tell me, while you were having coffee, did you at any time see them? Were you reminded of them at all?
No.
You had no occasion to open your handbag during coffee?
No.
But as a result of your conversation, you were distressed and crying. Didn't you open it to find a handkerchief?
No.
Well, would you have us believe, Lady Dyson, that distressed and upset as you had no occasion to use a handkerchief to wipe your eyes or blow your nose?
No. I'd use a tissue for that, not a handkerchief.
And you don't keep tissues in your handbag?
No. I carry them in my pocket. Always.
So you keep tissues in your pocket. So then you would normally, therefore, have no occasion to open your handbag for how long? For a whole morning?
Yes, that's
Except-
quite possible.
Except to put items in it when you couldn't find a shop assistant.
That's quite possible too, yes.
Have you been to the coffee bar before with things in your bag?
No, probably not, no.
Oh, was there something special about this occasion?
I don't understand you.
Well, you have never before done anything as dangerous as that, you say, carried unpaid-for goods about in your bag for so long.
I wasn't thinking about them. I was in a hurry to get to the coffee bar.
Yes, but what I am asking is why, particularly? What put all those thoughts out of your head?
I was looking forward to our chat, that's all.
But you met regularly with Mr. Wharton, you said, once or twice a week. Was there some compelling reason why on this occasion you should be in such a hurry?
I don't know what you're trying to imply.
I'm not trying to imply anything. I am merely inquiring a reason.
There was no reason. There was no special reason at all. No.
Very well. Now let us go on with what occurred after your conversation with your friend Mr. Wharton. He left first, you say. He left you there.
Yes.
And then sometime afterwards, greatly distressed, you left the coffee bar and you descended via the escalator to the ground floor.
Yes, I don't know how long it was. Not long.
But it was long enough, as you described in your evidence, to take your third tranquilizer, and then you left.
Yes.
And you took your third tranquilizer, you say, because the first two weren't having any effect.
Yes.
So when were you aware that they were having an effect?
I don't properly know.
I think you do, Lady Dyson. I suddenly began to cry, but instead of going to the powder room, I stood up and walked out. I was crying coming down the escalator, but I couldn't accept it was me that people were looking at. Well, they were having an effect by then, were they not?
Yes, they must have been, yes.
So one minute you are so distressed that you don't care about people staring at you, crying coming down the escalator, and then the next moment you're joking with a policeman in the street.
You couldn't possibly understand it.
Try and help me.
It was because of Mark. I didn't want him to see how upset I was. I thought if he saw me laughing and chatting with a policeman in the street, he would leave me alone.
Yes, but then when it wasn't he who came up to you, but Mrs. Padley, the store detective, then you very quickly became rational, did you not? I'm innocent. And then a threatening remark to the policeman, I know the chief constable.
I have told you over and over again, it was because of the drugs. I didn't know what I was saying.
Well, at what point did the effect of the drugs wear off?
Not until hours afterwards.
Well, when you were told that you were to be charged and you stayed completely silent, were you under the effect of the drugs then?
Yes, I must have been, yes. Look, I don't know how these things work, but I do remember thinking that I'd been saying the most terrible things to people. The best thing I could think of was to say nothing more whatsoever at all.
Until your solicitor came?
I was within my rights.
Oh, indeed you were. The drugs hadn't clouded your sharpness on that, had they, Lady Dyson?
I don't wish to re-examine, Your Honour.
You may leave the witness box, Lady Dyson.
Thank
I
you.
call Sir Charles Dyson, please.
Sir Charles Dyson.
Charles, don't say too much.
The case of the Queen against Dyson will be concluded tomorrow in the Crown Court. The case you're about to see is fictional. The procedure, however, is legally accurate. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. Lady Arabella Dyson is accused of theft in that she stole goods from Messrs. Scotson, Green and Pretty of High Street, Fulchester. Lady Dyson denies the charge.
Lady Dyson, I now give you a final warning. If you cannot or will not restrain yourself, I shall have to order for the rest of this case you remain in the cells below. Sir Harvey, I trust your client realizes the seriousness of the situation.
Yes, Your Honour. May the witness be sworn, please.
What is your religion?
The Church of England.
Excuse me, the Court Administrator's office, is it that way?
Yes.
Thank you.
Beg pardon.
Excuse me. Is this correct for the case concerning Lady Dyson?
Yes, it is.
Excuse me. You're a witness too yourself?
Yes, I am, actually, yes.
Excuse me. Perhaps you are Mr. Wharton.
Yes, I am.
I'm Dr. Lansky, Lady Dyson's psychiatrist. I have heard many things about you.
Really? Excuse me.
And, Sir Charles, you are the husband of Lady Dyson.
I am, yes.
How long have you been married?
16 years.
And have you and your wife been customers for many years at Scott's and Green and Pretty's department store?
Yes, since we came to live here 10 years ago.
You have a credit account there?
Yes, I don't use it much. It's more Arby's thing.
I beg pardon?
Arbel. Arabella's.
Ah, yes, of course. And, Sir Charles, have you yourself been on shopping expeditions there with your wife?
Oh, yes. I like to go if there's something particular that I want. She'd rather wander around and pick things up.
What do you mean by the phrase, pick things up?
Well, that's what she does. She picks things up and carries them around with her.
Things she's bought?
Oh, no. Things she's going to buy. Either pay for or have charged.
Have you been with her when she's done that?
Oh, yes. Especially when she can't find an assistant.
What does she do then?
Well, she's not very patient, you know. She has a bit of a temper about her, Arbel has. When she can't get attended to straight away, she takes whatever it is to another department altogether, gets them to charge it after telling them exactly what she thinks of the service. I'm so sorry. It's just I remember once she took a see-through bra to the sports department. Yes, that shook them.
Sir Charles, in your own experience in the store, has anyone on the staff ever queried what she was doing with these things she'd picked up and was carrying about?
No, of course not, no. I mean, they know her. I expect they'd realise that she's a bit scatterbrained. I mean, that's really what this is all about, isn't it?
What, do you think this has all come about because she's a bit scatterbrained?
Well, yes. And on top of that, when she gets into a bit of a state, like she was that morning over her boyfriend and so on.
Thank you, Sir Charles. Thank you.
Sir Charles, the incident you referred to when your wife took a brassiere into the sports department, were you with her?
Yes.
Now, let me make sure I have this right. She took an item of lingerie into the sports department and asked them to charge it to her account.
Yes. He was only a young chap, the assistant. He didn't know where to look.
And she carried it openly in her hand.
Oh, yes. I mean, Arbel doesn't bat an eyelid over things like that.
Do you recall any other instances of this sort?
No, I can't say that I can offhand.
And were you ever with her when she put things in her handbag and carried them around?
No. Of course, that was a damn stupid thing to do. I'm sure it was because she was in a state over this latest chap and so on. She gets into these big affairs and it's always the same. It's heartbreak. It's rather like schoolgirl crushes, I dare say you remember. They never last. Mind you, she did say that she wanted to marry this one. I suppose I shall have to pick up the pieces, as usual.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Charles.
I don't want to re-examine, Your Honour.
Right. Thank you, Sir Charles.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mark Wharton, please. And at what time in the morning did you meet Lady Dyson in the coffee bar?
10:15.
Who was there first, you or her?
I was, so she was a little late.
Can you tell us anything about Lady Dyson's manner during her conversation with you?
Well, she is rather highly strung, but she did seem particularly agitated that morning.
Without going into too great detail, can you tell us what about?
Yes, but well, it was a very personal conversation.
Well, if you could be as frank as you feel you can, Mr. Wharton.
I said that the relationship between us had to come to an end.
Had she any idea that you were going to say this, or Did it come as a complete surprise?
I think she may have had some idea. I telephoned her the night before and said it was urgent that we meet and talk.
What was her reaction to what you said to her in the coffee bar that morning?
She was very upset. We both were. We were very fond of each other, and it was as difficult for me to say as it was for her to hear.
You talked, you drank coffee, and so on. Did Lady Dyson have anything besides her coffee?
No. No, she kept taking some sort of pills.
How many did she take during your conversation?
Well, actually, they were sort of yellow capsule things. I think she had 2 while we were talking, and then I believe she took another one later.
No, we'll just confine ourselves to what you know, to actually what you saw. You saw her take 2. And then, how soon after that did you leave, Mr. Wharton?
A few minutes, 5 minutes, perhaps.
Did you see her again after that?
Yes, she telephoned me the next day, and she was in a terrible state.
No, I meant that morning, in the store. Did you see her again after your talk in the coffee bar?
No, I left immediately and went back to the estate office where I work.
Thank you, Mr. Wharton.
Now, these pills she took, Mr. Wharton, or capsules, or whatever they were, 2, you say, while you were having coffee?
Yes. 1, and then another one a few minutes after.
What were they in, Mr. Wharton?
I'm sorry?
What were they in? A pill box, a container, bottle, what?
Oh, an ordinary sort of brown bottle, I think, about so big.
What do you mean, about an inch and a half?
Yes, rather.
And where was the bottle? Where did she take it from?
Handbag?
Now, I would like you to think very carefully about this, Mr. Wharton. Did she take the bottle from her handbag?
Well, yes, I think so.
Thank you.
Mr. Wharton, I'd be grateful if you would cast your mind back and think very carefully about this, please. You say Lady Dyson took her pills while she was with you from a brown bottle. You think came from her handbag.
Well, I think it was a brown bottle.
Well, could it have been a clear glass one?
I suppose so, yes.
Or one of those smoky plastic containers about that size?
Well, I couldn't say at all, definitely. I wasn't really taking much notice of what they were in.
No, of course. And could you say precisely that you noticed either where she took them from? You think they came from a handbag, you say, but could it have been from a pocket?
Well, yes. I wasn't watching her that closely.
Thank you, Mr. Wharton.
Right, thank you, Mr. Wharton. You may leave the witness box.
Your Honor.
Do you have any further witnesses, Sir Harvey?
Only one, Your Honor. I call Dr. Victor Lansky, please.
Dr. Victor Lansky.
Dr. Lansky, you are a fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine and a consultant psychiatrist at the East Wilton Hospital, Fulchester.
Yes, I am.
And you are also in private practice in London.
Yes.
Is Lady Dyson a patient of yours?
She has been for 3 years now, yes.
Would you tell us what you've been treating her for?
I do not really like to give labels. You know, mental illnesses, it impedes more than it tells, you know.
A diagnosis, even in broad, general terms, would probably assist us, Doctor.
Well, depression. Perhaps a form of depression. But it's not a proper clinical term.
Now, you've been treating Lady Dyson for 3 years, you say. Could you tell us, without breach of professional etiquette, what form the treatment has taken?
I'm eclectic. I mean, I'm strictly a post-Freudian, but sometimes analysis is not indicated. So we give psychotherapy, and then we treat with a psychotropic drug, all different
And
effects.
this is how you've been treating Lady Dyson?
Yes.
The drugs you described as psychotropic, Doctor, what exactly are they?
It's a general term. Tranquilizers, sedatives, drugs which affect the mood of the person.
Yes, thank you. Were you prescribing a drug or drugs of that kind last June to Lady Dyson?
Yes, one called Heprenor. It's a tricyclic compound, but I do not use it now because it has strong side effects sometimes, depending on the person.
What sort of side effects?
Well, one patient, a woman, she took off all her clothes, went into the park, rolled in the snow. It was as if she was tipsy. And another one, she said it made her want to cry often.
Can you tell us any other effects you know of, Doctor?
Well, a male patient, he said to me, Dr. Lansky, I do not feel as if I belong in the world. I do not feel responsible for myself. I lose all fear. It's a good description, I think.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Dr. Lansky, how long after taking the drug Hefrenol would its effects be felt?
Depend on many things.
Such as what?
How it was taken, whether other contents of the patient's stomach, and so on.
And also... Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
And also if it was chewed and swallowed up with a warm drink, coffee, for example, then it'd be very quick indeed. Take effect in perhaps only a few minutes.
Now, you spoke of an instance when one of your patients took off all her clothes and rolled in the snow, and of another who said he did not feel he belonged in the world, he did not feel responsible. Now, the lady who rolled in the snow without her clothes on after taking Hefrenol, would she be aware when she was doing it of what she was doing?
Oh, yes, but not caring that she was doing it, you know.
And would she remember doing it afterwards?
Probably. I think so, yes.
So loss of memory about actions would not be an effect with this drug?
Well, it's difficult. You see, so much depends on the person.
Well, have you ever heard of a case either of lack of awareness at the time someone was doing something or lack of memory afterwards?
No, but that doesn't mean it could not occur because I have not heard of it.
You are familiar with this, Dr. Lansky, the British National Formulary?
Yes, I am. Every doctor is.
Well, in the entry for Hefrenol, in the section on tricyclic and related drugs, it mentions some possible side effects which may be troublesome rather than serious. And these include drowsiness, dry mouth, blurred vision, and dizziness. It does not refer at all either to lack of awareness or to memory defect.
No.
Now, when it was introduced, was the preparation Hefrenol one for which special reporting by doctors who prescribed it was requested?
Oh, yes, as with all new drugs.
So doctors were particularly asked, that is, to notify any and all adverse side effects?
Yes.
So you would agree, then, it would be most unlikely, since so mention of it is made here, either of unawareness or of lack of memory, that there can have been such an effect on any patient?
Well, none have been notified, so I think I'd have to say yes.
Thank you. Now, I would like to go on, please, to ask you, Doctor, a little about Lady Dyson's illness, about the state of her mind when she is not under the influence of drugs, but ordinarily. Is someone who is ill responsible for her actions?
Madam, medicine and the law, they do not speak the same terms at all, do they? The same language.
Well, we seem to be doing quite well so far, Doctor. Why don't you try to answer my questions, and then I will try to understand you.
Sane, insane, ill, healthy, responsible, irresponsible. We do not have the same concept for such terms at all.
Well, I don't want to enter into a philosophical debate with you, Doctor. Would you just please answer my question? Does someone who is not insane but ill know what she's doing?
Yes, certainly, but...
And does she know whether what she's doing is right or wrong?
It's not possible to answer.
Well, are you saying that Lady Dyson has no ability to make moral judgments?
No, of course not.
Then she does know the difference between right and wrong?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Lansky.
You wish to re-examine your witness, Sir Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Dr. Lansky, could I ask you a little about Lady Dyson's personality and character? In your opinion, what sort of person is she?
Unhappy.
Yes. What other words would you use?
Brave.
Yes. Please go on, Doctor.
Warm, generous, open person.
Yes.
Impulsive sometimes, I think.
Impulsive meaning she sometimes does things without thinking about them?
Oh, yes, I think she would do that very often.
When it comes to such a thing as, for instance, her personal integrity, could you say anything about that? I mean, as her psychiatrist, you probably know her even better than her friends. Would you say she is, well, can we say she's an honest person?
Well, to herself, no, definitely she's not.
To other people?
Oh, yes, to them she's very honest. Sometimes I think too honest.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lansky. Is that your case, Sir Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor.
By Miss Forsyth?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I began by saying to you that the prosecution's case was simple and straightforward, and that in my belief you would have no doubt as to the accused's guilt. Now, what is it that the defense is asking you to believe? That in addition to all her deliberate actions, Lady Dyson did two other things, taking the gloves and the silk square, which were not deliberate, and that in any case she had no intention of stealing them. Well, members of the jury, the prosecution does not have to show guilty intent, only that she took the goods. And there is no doubt about that, she did. And she says she was responsible for her actions, as did her doctor, eventually. But it seems to me, members of the jury, as I think it will to you, that where the defense falls down completely is this. We have heard of occasions when Lady Dyson could not, as she says that she could not in these instances, find an assistant to charge things to her account. I asked her why she did not take the silk square into the soft furnishing department where there was an assistant, and she says because it was not her department. Yet we also heard, did we not, of an occasion when she took a brassiere into a sportswear department and asked that it should be charged. So you see, members of the jury, her behaviour is not consistent, and nor either, I am afraid, are her explanations. Now, let me remind you of some other instances where what Lady Dyson said was not logical either.
I'm sure you will agree. I could never have imagined, said Lady Dyson, that I would ever find myself in a nightmare situation like this. Well, she made a very serious error of judgment in agreeing to plead guilty to what she thought was a trivial charge. None of her friends believed afterwards, when she explained the circumstances, she really could be guilty, and she wasn't. But what is the first thing Lady Dyson now does? Now, I hope you'll remember it, because her word has been called in doubt. The very first thing Lady Dyson does is to tell you she already has a conviction. Now, she didn't have to tell you that. She wasn't compelled to. But because she was and is, as her doctor told you, a brave and honest person, she wanted nothing to be hidden. Now, finally, I have to ask you to consider what really is the fundamental issue, and it is this. It is up to the prosecution to prove that Lady Dyson stole, and I emphasize it, stole, a pair of gloves, a silk scarf, and a lady's electric razor, to a total value of £120. That is all. £120. She has a personal credit account at the store with no limit to it. She can have whatever she wants, whenever she wants, without paying for it. And on top of all, on the day in question, she had in her purse, in cash, the sum of no less than £300. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you truly believe Lady Dyson would steal such little items like these? I've no more to say to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you.
Now, members of the jury, having heard the able final speeches by counsel for the prosecution and for the defense, it is now your task to reach your verdict. But before you do so, it is my task to say such things to you as I feel may assist you. Now, you have taken an oath to try this case on evidence, and only on that. It is true, as counsel says, that this is not a court of morals, and you will not make judgment of Lady Dyson in that respect. Some of you may feel that you do not care for the way that she's used her position and wealth, well, not only during this case, but in her behavior generally. And you may even feel that she's a person who does not suffer fools gladly. But you know, there is another aspect to that. For if you have sufficient wealth to behave exactly as you please, and you choose to behave ungraciously and impolitely, then you mustn't be surprised if those whom you consider fools to regard you as something worse. Now, I say this to you, members of the jury, not to emphasize what you may consider to be the less attractive aspects of Lady Dyson's character, but really for the very opposite reasons, to ensure that you keep your personal opinions at the back of your mind and that you will not allow them to influence you. You must not find Lady Dyson guilty because you do not like her. But that mustn't happen at all. Now, it is true that I've had to express myself with some forthrightness towards her, and on occasion to reprimand her for her behavior, but you must realize that that in no way affects my directions to you now. as I pointed out to her. Her behavior has in no way helped her or her case. Rather the reverse. Indeed, there was a danger of prejudice against her that in no way was connected with the facts. Now let me now enumerate those facts for you, which are all that you are to concern yourselves with. And when I have finished, you will please retire and elect a foreman to speak for you and consider your verdict. Well, first now, let me direct you as to the law. A person is guilty of theft if she or he dishonestly appropriates property belonging to another with the intention of permanently depriving that other of it. It is immaterial whether the...
Lady Dyson?
Excuse me, Lady Dyson.
May I have a word with you, please?
Who are you? What about?
My name's Mary Carter. I'm a probation officer. I was asked to be in court and have been from the beginning.
I'm sorry, but what do you want?
Now, if the jury bring in a verdict of guilty...
I beg your pardon?
I said if the jury bring in a verdict of guilty...
I really don't want to listen to you. I don't have to talk to you, do I?
No, you don't. But I think you might be wise to.
Oh, do you?
If the verdict does go against you, your counsel will ask for as lenient a sentence as the judge feels he can give, and he may well be willing to consider probation. But he can only take that course if I tell him I've talked to you and you're willing to accept it.
Me? On probation? You can't be serious.
I am, and I think you should be.
For something that I haven't done, that's preposterous. Are you seriously suggesting that there's the slightest possibility of a guilty verdict?
You'd be wise to prepare yourself for any eventuality.
You said you'd been asked to be in court. Who on earth by?
I'd rather not say.
My husband.
No, Lady Dyson. By the judge.
And all persons concerned in the case.
Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Please answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you are all agreed?
Yes.
On the indictment before you, offences against the Theft Act, namely of stealing one pair of ladies' gloves, a silk square, and an electric razor and case, the property of Messrs. Scottson, Green and Pretty, do you find the accused, Lady Arabella Dyson, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Lady Dyson, you're free to go.
All stand.